Hey, we do have a quick update on the Gene Hackman situation. I don't know if you guys saw this.
No.
They just did a press conference.
What's up?
Investigators have determined that he and his wife died from natural causes. She died on February 11th, and he died on February 18th from heart disease and having Alzheimer's. And so apparently the dog died of starvation.
Okay, I'm understanding.
So she died first through natural causes, and then he died 7 days later with heart disease and Alzheimer's. So he probably had
She was taking care of him,
right?
Yeah.
She was
and she passed away.
That is terrible.
That is tragic.
A horrible end to a legendary life. Like,
because she was the one that was mummified, right?
Well, they both were. They both had mummified hands and feet.
So this is the first case of double natural causes.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, he's
probably not the first. It's probably not the first case of like somebody's caretaker dying, and they can't take care of themselves, and God,
that's so sad.
That's sad. He did look horrible in those pictures.
I mean, he was 95 years old. So he's 95.
That's what's going to happen to you someday, Paul. You're gonna.
I'm 90.
One day.
I'm 90 now.
Right behind you, buddy. I'm right behind you. I hope nothing happens to me. I'm here alone.
Yeah,
when did the dog die? I feel bad for the dog.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume the dog.
Screw the people.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I feel in life too. I'm usually more sympathetic to the dog than the people.
Poor dog.
I am.
Feel bad for that dog.
If the dog got to live 80 years, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming the dog was probably in a crate or locked away.
Well, yes, he was.
So,
apparently he was.
Yeah. So that's just
sad.
That's brutal.
Tragic.
But it doesn't change the fact that Gene Hackman is a legend.
Absolute
legend. There's too many movies we could mention that you should watch if you haven't seen them. Just go to IMDb and look up his movies.
Yep.
Watch all of them.
Check him out. Go to Critic List. Go to Critic List and look up his movies.
Yeah, there won't be. I mean, he's a unique actor, one of the greatest actors in a generation, and you just won't get actors like him anymore. Not even close. As versatile as he was. Sucks. Sucks. Getting old sucks. Ryan won't, though.
Getting old is a drag. I have to take Viagra just to masturbate.
I thought you were going to say I have to take Viagra just to do this show.
Same difference.
No, that's us. That's all of us.
Natural. That's all natural.
But I pay everybody in Viagra.
And that's one of the problems with Hollywood is that there are no more Gene Hackmans really out there. And Hollywood is also, and I've talked about this before, they've blown out sort of the middle famous people. I'll remember the names, but James Coburn, people like that.
Yeah.
So they were never really superstars, but Hollywood had this fantastic group of middle stars that could also open a movie.
Yeah.
Right. And that's gone. They're completely gone. Lee Marvin, was never a superstar, but I'd go see a Lee Marvin film.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not just the big stars that Hollywood have lost. They've lost sort of a very important middle class of actors that we always enjoyed going to see.
Well, I think what they've forgotten is it's the audience that picks the stars, not them.
Yeah.
And so now you get Zendaya in every movie, despite the fact that nobody wants her in anything and nobody particularly likes her in it. So they're trying to force people on the audience rather than going, well, you were successful in that. Let's see if you can blow up into a career.
They're picking Zendaya, whatever her name is, and others off of, and we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago, Ryan, based on Instagram followers.
And social media.
Social media. Because she has 200 million followers on Instagram, so she's in every single movie now. They also, Hollywood got rid of those actors because they got rid of those actors' films. There's no middle film. It's only the blockbusters. No. So we got rid of all of those great, like, clock in, clock out actors that did the work and were really great. Yeah. All the character actors are gone.
Well, they're still out there. They're just not getting the roles like Snape, which should go to a character actor of some sort and not just a virtue signal.
And not just character actors, but also those with like more classical training. Like one of the reasons why it's really fun to think back to the movies that Robin Williams was able to make, was that he was able to do both drama and comedy. And why? Because he actually did have classical training. And so he was able to handle, but comedy's hard, right? But he was able to do those dramatic performances because of his experiences. You don't have those actors anymore that can do any single role in any type of movie or multiple genres or anything. Most actors don't even want to cross different genres because they just want to, get their paycheck and let everything else do the work for them.
I think if the actors all twerked on screen, that's what we need in film
That's what we
today.
need. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see Lee Van Cleef twerking.
Yes.
I mean, at this point, it's more about social media followers than anything.
Yeah.
That's why Zendaya is such a big star, and I put quotation marks around that because that's how they perceive her. She's got, I don't know how many followers she has on social media, but she's got a ton of followers on social media, and that's how they perceive it. Oh, if we can get this person to be in the movie, she has a bunch of followers, she can post it on her Instagram, and it can promote the movie. And I don't think that works. I don't think that works at all. I think that she keeps getting cast in movies like Spider-Man and Dune, but like, what's the Zendaya movie that has been a big, huge success that she's been the lead in that wasn't tied to a previous franchise?
You said success. When you asking,
audiences.
When you're asking what is the
Pinterest
Zendaya
and Instagram, Pinterest and Instagram are almost entirely female platforms. So unless you had like a rom-com, that would be a great thing for her to advertise on Instagram, but not a male-orientated action movie.
Good point.
But didn't she have a rom-com where she got railed by two guys and it still bombed?
Yeah,
That was
Challengers.
Challengers. I don't know if it was a rom-com or not. I never watched it.
Because that's the
She
only
got railed by
movie
two
that
guys,
I,
though.
That was like the one scene that got a lot the most attention.
When you say the Zendaya movie, that's the only one that comes to mind.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I don't
Odyssey.
really like. I don't hate her like everybody else hates her, but I just don't care about her either. I have. I don't care.
I don't hate her either.
I just
I'm
have
not
no
against
strong
her.
opinions on her whatsoever. But she does pop up in
Overexposed.
everything.
She's
Yes.
overexposed. Pedro Pascal
she
is
is.
overexposed. And it's not to say Pedro Pascal once in a while can be a decent actor in something. He can. But
I like Pedro in a decent amount of things.
yeah.
I hate him. I hope a fucking piano falls on his head or some shit.
In
But
Minecraft.
in Minecraft.
In Looney
before.
Tunes.
The
But
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent that he did was hilarious. Like him and Nick Cage had great comedic chemistry with each other.
Yeah. It's
I
just,
don't think he fits as Reed Richards.
No.
They didn't
But I
like
guess we'll
it
see when
either.
that comes out.
I still think most of Zendaya's massive followers and a lot of these Hollywoods are mostly bots, and most people actually just don't give a crap, and they can't turn the needle when they get cast in things.
I mean, I've like.
No,
if you-
I don't think that's the case. I think people have tons of fucking followers out there. I think the disconnect is the people that are making these movies that think because someone has Instagram followers, that results in box office money, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think that that's the case at all. And
I think Hollywood
is
celebrities bot their followings all the time. They pay I reckon there's marketing teams that will go out behind the scenes and pay bot farms to sign up and get massive followings.
You'd be an idiot not to. If you knew that you getting your job was contingent on your followers.
I mean, she is 100% popular. She has been a star for a long time since she was a little kid. So there's definitely a following there, and I get why she has a following. I don't understand why she's treated like she's this phenomenal actress that's so great and she needs to be in everything. Like that's the disconnect,
too, right? Lady Gaga is massive, right? She has a massive social media presence, has a huge fan base, right? Maybe not, might not be the target demographic for that, but it is huge.
right?
They cast her, oh, look, we're going to do this thing in Joker 2. It's going to be fucking great. And it makes less than a fifth of the original one. Not because Lady Gaga has fake bot followers, but because that doesn't actually equate to money if the product sucks or if the people that are following that person aren't interested in the product.
Do you think the ending of Dune 2 was changed to not piss off her crowd?
No, I don't think so. I think that was a very strategic thing by Denis, and I think the way her character acted the entire time was also strategic by Denis to try to get across the audience that what Paul's doing is not a good thing. And even with that hitting people over the head, you still had people that didn't even understand that in the fucking movie. But that's what I think.
I was just curious because, societally she would have had to accept Paul marrying the other world without question, without being bitchy about it. that's what happened in medieval times. That's what happened in the books. I found that very off-putting in the movie, but I don't want to.
And so did a lot of
Dune fans. What's interesting is when Dune 2 came out, I remember the hype in that first week. It felt like everybody was sending it to the moon, and I don't feel like that was sustained at all. I mean, I didn't like it as much as part one the first time I watched it, but when that first week, you remember everybody was going fucking crazy over Dune 2, and I'm like, it was okay. It's not as good as part one, in my opinion.
It did better financially.
It did. It 100% did. I mean, Dune part one really flew under the radar in a lot of ways. And
it also got released on HBO at the same time. It was day and day
exactly.
release.
It got released day and day on HBO. I think that what it make Odin around $750 million worldwide. That's what
Dune 2, right? Yeah.
I think it's somewhere in that realm. And I thought it was the best cinematic experience I had in theaters last year.
Did you get a blowjob
probably without a doubt.
Like, what the hell?
It's that and Nosferatu.
No. Jeremy, it was the popcorn bucket, so effectively the same thing.
Okay.
But 715 million. 715.
But with that being said, I kind of said all along, I don't think that Dune is a very palatable story for a massive, wide amount of people. It's a weird book. It's a tough book to read. It's a fucking tough thing to adapt. And I don't know if that type of... I don't know how much better it could do.
I can't wait for the worm. When he becomes a worm.
I don't think... You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that in Dune Messiah.
Come on!
In terms of how popular it'd be for a wide audience, could you say that the same with like Oppenheimer or something like that? I think if the film is just genuinely good, it can blast through that barrier.
I'm still shocked.
Genuinely good.
I'm still shocked. Oppenheimer made almost $1 billion. It's absolutely fucking retarded.
Because I would have assumed Oppenheimer's audience would have been much smaller.
I liked it, but a 3-hour biopic that didn't even have a lot of like action at all. I
watched it twice. But then I studied to be a nuclear physicist.
Oh, there you go. So now, did you like it? Did you like it though? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've seen it twice. I'm a huge Nolan fan already, except for his shitty Man of Steel script and all that. But we won't talk about that. But yeah, I liked it. But I still can't understand how that movie made almost $1 billion, and Dune Part 2 only made like $750 million, which is crazy to think about. Because I think Dune Part 2 is far more for the general audience than Oppenheimer. Right, far more. Because just on action.
You would think.
I wanted more gear porn in Oppenheimer, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It did have boobs, so that's always a good thing.
Is that the key? Is that what?
But it needs gear porn and boobs.
Florence Pugh,
it's the combination. Yeah, it's Florence Pugh boobs though, which are like
like A's maybe.
I would fuck the shit out of Florence Pugh. Shut the fuck up, man. Come on, don't fucking pretend like you guys wouldn't.
This dude, I had this discussion the other day on Cobra Cast. Like, people calling Sydney Sweeney mid. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, stop. The internet was a mistake. If you're calling Sydney Sweeney mid, stop. Just stop.
Yeah, all these people.
There's a difference between
these
two women you're talking
about.
Go to
a bar to try to take home a 1. All of them are calling Sydney Sweeney mid. Oh, Florence Pugh, she doesn't quite have the right size boobs for me. Go fuck yourself. You wouldn't a heartbeat.
We didn't say we didn't like them, Ryan. We appreciate the boobs, but we're just calling it. We're calling balls and strikes here. They're not big.
I like Ryan went full Michael Jordan, and I took that personally.
I think Gary is saying that there's Florence Pugh, and then there is Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. Yes. Right. We're just pointing it out. I'm not saying cover up the boobs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
Sydney Sweeney's boobs. Go watch Euphoria.
On a scale from Pugh's boobs to Sydney Sweeney.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.